As the festive season approaches, many Australians are choosing to give back, turning to philanthropy over presents. In fact, a Red Cross survey found that 75% of us gave back last holiday season. So let's discuss the rethinking of giving now with Amanda Sartor, National Manager of Active Philanthropy at Equity Trustees. Wonderful of you to join us. Thank you so much. 'Tis the season for giving. And I think the broader point is that a lot of us don't need more stuff. So how are you approaching this?
Hi, Nadine. It's so lovely to be here today. It's such a good point around as we get closer to Christmas, is there is a frenzy around giving gifts. And what we are seeing is a shift, is clients now and Australians thinking around, is actually more consumerism better, or should we be thinking about more meaningful ways of showing that we love and we care for other people? And we're seeing this through a number of ways. We see more and more families think about how they're donating presents and regifting unwanted gifts to other children and families, particularly experiencing hardship. We see that focus. There's a lot more consciousness around waste and the environmental footprint that's left from a lot of gift giving over the Christmas season. And so particularly young Australians are really saying no to presents and all those material gifts, and wanting to find more enduring ways that they can give and show people they care.
I've become heavily addicted to those shorts that show how you can thrift things to gift things. I haven't had the time to really execute myself this year, but yeah, I would love to. So are people also looking at other ways to give because of all the cost of living pressures that perhaps they're under as well?
Yeah, I think we are, as Australians, we have a strong psyche around lifting others and that strong sense of mateship, particularly in times of crisis. And with the continued cost of living crisis, it definitely, the amount of hardship that we're seeing is, unparalleled in terms of, people know families in their communities and people that are experiencing hardship that never have before, particularly with the cost of, rent and mortgages and so forth. And so for those who are fortunate enough to give, who have a stable job and have more than they need, there's a real shift around how they can show that they want to give back, and also think about that practice around giving. And so where we really see a lot of amazing stories, our clients and families and even companies thinking about that enduring legacy of creating impact, and thinking about investing money now into a giving fund, which is often what we call structured giving, a more thoughtful way of committing money to giving and giving back to those in need, but making that a practice and a commitment where they then give small donations of that initial commitment over many years.
That's what I was going to ask, Amanda. So at Equity Trustees, you're the National Manager for Active Philanthropy. So what does active philanthropy actually mean?
Yeah, so Equity Trustees, supports a lot of different types of charitable trusts. So we have our legacy trustee business, which is really around supporting clients who may have passed and in their estate and their wishes, they want to leave an enduring legacy. And the active philanthropy team that I lead up is really around supporting clients and families and companies that really want to give in during their lifetime. And so it's really around having conversations and understanding who really wants to give back and create, that value of giving back is really important to them, for their family, for their community, for their broader stakeholders, and helping establish those structures to enable them to do that effectively and create a really strong practice and thoughtful and impactful way of how they're actually supporting those causes that are important to them over a longer time. And importantly, what we find is it's around those conversations. So, the other active part is really around conscious decision-making, thinking about how you're having further discussions with those around you around why you've decided to do this and what's important to you and why. And so it's really, there's a lot of practice and, thought that goes into what they're doing. And that is really, creates a really long-term and more enduring impact for the causes and the charities that they really want to support.
Amanda, we're up against the clock now when it comes to this Christmas. Is it too late to give? What would your advice be for those, particularly in light of the tragic events that unfolded at Bondi and on Sunday, where they just, they're now feeling more than ever that they want to give back something to our community?
There's many different ways you can give. There's it's such a tragedy, the Bondi's attack that occurred on Sunday, and our extend our warmest condolences to everyone that was impacted by that. There's really different ways. Clients that may already have a giving fund set up, we really encourage you to think about topping up that giving fund and putting more funds in there instead of giving gifts, physical gifts to family and extended friends and so forth. If you don't have a giving fund, we really think about setting one up. At Equity Trustees, we can establish giving funds for clients with as little as $5,000. And for those, it's not just around the quantum of money, it's really around the practice and the conversations. There are some amazing appeals being run for this particular event through the Sydney Community Foundation, which is a great foundation to bring for local community. There's ways of talking with your family around the importance of giving back and feeling ways to activate those conversations around why things occur and what we can do about it going forward. And so using this time over Christmas when you're together with loved ones to have those conversations and to action either, financial or volunteer time, it's a really critical time that you can do it.
Love your work, Amanda Sartor, National Manager of Active Philanthropy at Equity Trustees. Thank you for joining us. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas holiday season, and wishing you a prosperous 2026 as well. And we can give some of it away if we both see things unfold as they should.
Thank you, Nadine. Merry Christmas.